apparently I look like you.
And Pete Gas is awesome. There were certain people that we wanted to have this strange rotating, like almost a band of characters that would make no sense. So the first thing I came up with was like Funaki needs to be our Ed McMahon, and it needs to be dubbed with Howard Finkel's voice, and he needs to be wearing different, like a bacon costume. I don't know, just because. So Funaki, Tommy Dreamer, Pete Gas, and Sean Mooney were strangely our band of weird characters.
Over here. What's your name? What's your question?
I'm a professional wrestler myself. And I'm
All right, a bit of a vague question, but she's a wrestler herself. I guess any advice for someone trying to hack it in the wrestling world?
Well, this is an interesting little conversation we're about to have, because Sir Colt and I last night had this conversation, because I said the same thing to Bret Hart when I was 17 years old. I went to this Canadian talk show called Beanie Petty, and I sat in the audience and I was like, Bret, how do I get in the business? And he said the same thing I'm going to tell you, is just go out and get experience. He then found me in the hallway later and said he wishes he could give me a better answer, but he was the WWF champion at that point, so he really didn't know what it was like breaking into the industry when he was at that level and what it was now. So it's the same thing that I would tell you. At least now you have the avenues of social media to be able to get your work out there, which is nice. We didn't have that. We had VHS tapes, and we had to like go to shows and hand it to people and say, can you watch this on your VCR when you get home? And they probably just toss it in the garbage. So I think maybe it's easier now, but I can't give you a full answer because, again, I'm a retired old guy.
All right.
But good luck and kick ass.
All right. Good luck to you, Stacey. All right, buddy, what's your name and your question?
So, Simon, nice to meet you, mate.
Hey, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How does it feel to know that TLC 2 will never be topped?
That's subjective, right? You know, some people think those are the greatest things ever. Some people think they're just, you know, a car crash, which is what they were, and that's what we meant for them to be. So, I mean, hey, any kind of best ever list, anything like that, when it comes to entertainment, everybody's idea is different of what's best. So there's no such thing as the best wrestler ever. There's no such thing as the best match ever. There is for you personally, there is for me personally, but I don't know. If you think it is, awesome, and thank you.
We're over here.
Wow, you're quick.
I'm gonna go.
Stealthy Colt Cabana.
Hey, buddy, what's your name?
Michael. How did it feel when you turned at Royal Rumble 2010 and got a massive pop and won it?
I like your insider lingo there, buddy.
2010, you came back. How did you enjoy that?
I felt like I was going to die from a heart attack because I had been trying to get back from a torn Achilles tendon in 6 months, which I did, and the Achilles felt fine, but my lungs felt horrible. The adrenaline shot that you get from 20,000 people reacting to you coming out, there's nothing that can really match that or prepare your cardiovascular system for that. So by the fourth spear, I was ready to pass out, and I knew I still had 4 or 5 minutes left to go. So I was like, this could be ugly. And just at the end, I tried to suck in my gut as much as I could because I knew that was the vision they were going to have for WrestleMania going forward. I was like, oh, I haven't worn tights in 6 months. This is so awkward, and I have love handles. So that's what was going through my brain.
I like how you answered his question and gave a bit of a science lesson with all those smart words.
Boy, thank you.
Hot dog, how do we get to you?
Hot dog?
Yeah.
Oh, you are a hot dog. Okay. It's a Comic-Con, why not?
My buddy Hot Dog here. And say your name, which is obviously Hot Dog.
Is that Oscar Mayer? Hey!
First of all, my nan would like to thank you for making her 60s a very enjoyable time. Every time you came on the TV, she would scream, oh, it's my head.
And his nan is a bratwurst.
But in all seriousness, I finished reading your book and it was awesome, and I really liked the fact that you set out just to buy your mum a house. That was total respect. But I'd like to know how you felt when you finally got to wrestle The Undertaker? Because at the end of that book, you're just about to become the R-rated superstar.
Yeah, it was, you know, there's certain moments, you know, that I look back and they're surreal. You know, teaming with Hulk Hogan, like wrestling Ric Flair, wrestling Jerry Lawler in Memphis, wrestling Terry Funk, like all of these amazing things that I never thought would happen just because of age or whatever. Taker was always one that was what I wanted. That was the dog-eared page that I had to get to, you know, and that was always kind of the end goal. The fact that it was a main event at WrestleMania was just so many cherries on top of a cake that you know, I'll never forget it because you know, going to the ring and I'm the last introduced at WrestleMania. Like he's already in the ring, so that was just, you know, I couldn't feel my arms. I was so amped up. But I was ready, you know. And also too, to know that the company trusted to put him and I in that position. Obviously, they trusted him by that point, but to trust me in that position, and that he trusted me too, because we had a 1.5 year long, you know, feud that he wasn't there for half of. Strangely, you know, and his character was off TV, so there's a lot of fun challenges with that, and one of the best times of my career.
All right, so over here, let's go have a bunch of more. I'm in here.
Hello, Mr. Edge.
Hello, Mr. Edge or Mr. Ed?
Edge.
See, that was a very dated reference that no one got. Mr. Ed was a talking horse in the 1950s. I wasn't born yet, but I know about it.
So we have two quick questions for you. How many
Just one quick.
how many Pokemon have you got?
How many Pokemon you got?
I am oblivious, dude. I saw people wandering around the streets like it was The Walking Dead, and I was like, what is going on? Like, I have no grasp of this whatsoever. I just figured out Twitter. So for me, and Facebook, I just got on Facebook, and what am I, like 18 years late to that parade? But I saw people wandering around, and then I had a coffee with a buddy of mine, and he was like, oh, have you heard about Pokemon Go? And I was like, Pokemon. That's a cartoon, right? I don't know. And then he said, like, people were wandering off cliffs and dying because they're playing this game. And I think that's a true story, which is an insanity to me. And I think some people bought into the stock when it was really high, and then they didn't sell, and now they're stuck with it.
Suckers. I think he's talking about me. Thank you. We're here with Wolverine.
Hi, hello, my madam.
What's up, Logan? Oh, sorry.
I've got a quick one, really. If you could return back right now, which rivalry would you want to pursue?
Well, this is an interesting question because I never think of what if. I always, you know, what now? So I really don't think about it much. I guess, you know, I don't know, if I spent my time thinking like that, I'd go crazy, I think. But
if you could cosplay as one wrestler in the WWE, who would it be?
Roman Reigns.
Oh.
Those dreamy blue eyes for a Samoan. Oh my God. No, there's, you know what? There's a lot of guys, and you know, I really do enjoy Reigns' work. I think I could really have a good match with that guy, and help him turn a corner that I don't think a lot of people know how to turn for him right now. So that would be a really fun challenge. Who else is there right now? That Nakamura. That'd be a lot of fun. I really like the dude's Michael Jackson in a wrestling ring, but a way uglier version, and it's awesome. I mean that in a good way. Like, that dude is hard to look at, but you can't take your eyes off him. It's great. I don't know. I don't mean that in a mean way, even though it sounds really mean. Yeah. So those are the two that pop into my head initially. Sami Zayn. Man, I would love to get in there with him. That's, you know, as I'm thinking about it now you got me getting excited. Thanks. Sammy, I know, like, with the way he sells, and if I were rated R superstar, man, just give us half an hour and look out. All right. I didn't hear you.
Because he doesn't have a microphone, and I do. And now we're going to talk to this lovely lady right here.
My question is, if you were to restart your career, what would you do differently?
If you were to restart your career, which I know he said he's a big not a what if guy, but what would you do differently?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No regrets.
All right.
I mean, hey, it all worked out pretty good. I retired as world champion at WrestleMania and did stuff that I never thought I'd get to be able to do. Like as a kid, a 10-year-old kid in Toronto, if you had told me that I would do a quarter of the things I did, I'd think you were absolutely nuts. So no regrets, no complaints, nothing. The company treated me like gold. They still do to this day. And yeah, I'm not one of those bitter guys that wants to or thinks about if I'd done this or done that. I'm happy. Good question. Hi.
My favourite match as a teenager was the hair versus hair match with Kurt Angle. If WWE had said it, would you have got rid of those blonde blocks?
I would have. I totally would have, because I was trying to cut those things off for a long time. But they kept saying, oh, maybe not. It's kind of part of your character, and kind of, and it looks cool when you flip it and get hit. So I would have, but I would not look good bald. That was my only fear. I was like, oh no, this head bald would not be good. And they tried. Shane McMahon tried to rip me all day, saying, yeah, we're shaving you. And I was like, okay. I gave him the poker face. He says I was panicking. Angle says I was panicking. I wasn't panicking because I knew they were going to put him over twice in a row. So I was like, I'm going over.
Did you ever have to shave head as a kid or anything?
No, I had long hair since like the 6th grade. So from the time I was like, I don't know, 10 till I was 30. When did I retire? Until I was 38, I had long hair. But I was kind of dreaming of the day. I just wanted to get rid of it. I was tired of it. And now it's coming back.
Is this going to be weird if she asks the question if it's directly in front of you?
I'll look over here.
Okay. This is going to be very intimate.
What made you do the change from wrestling into starring in Haven and Clash and things like that?
Well, it was a forced change at first because I had to retire. I had no choice in the matter. I was ready to retire, but I still had a year left on my contract. I thought I'll see that out, and then I'm just gonna walk away. So I was ready mentally and physically, but physically, obviously, they told me you're disqualified from competing ever again. So you find that out, and you're like, okay, cool. I'm gonna grow a big beard and sit on my deck and just relax. But I got a call within a week. I got a few calls. It was crazy. WWE said, okay, Hugh Jackman is doing a play in San Francisco. They need a guy to play his trainer, but you have to go out now. And I knew Christian was winning the world title with my help storyline-wise that weekend. So I was like, I'm going to say no to Hugh Jackman playing to go be there to watch Jay win the world title. So I did that, and then I got a call to go out and do Haven. And I was like, okay, sure, yeah, it'll be fun. Nova Scotia, I hadn't been out there in a little while. And then I started having a lot of fun with it. And I realized in between seasons, when I decided I'd take that break and grow the beard and everything, then I started just painting. And I told Colt last night I painted like 42 luchador masks, and I was like, okay, this is an issue. I need to do something with my hands and my brain, or I could end up being a Unabomber if I'm not careful. So when they called and said, do you want to do another season? I was like, yeah, do you need me to come out and build sets or something? Because I'm really bored. So I need something creative, or, I think a little bit of me inside dies.
All right, over here.
In ring, who's the most chemistry you've had and the least chemistry with?
Most chemistry is tough. I got in there with so many talented people. Kurt Angle, Undertaker, Jeff Hardy, Rey Mysterio. I mean, just so easy. Just our speed, for whatever reason, it just worked. What's interesting is sometimes you can build great chemistry, and that was the case with Eddie and I. At first, Eddie and I, we couldn't click, and we're like, on paper, we should be able to tear this up. Like, what's going on here? And we beat ourselves up. We'd get in the back and go, that wasn't where it should be. It was fine, but it just wasn't where we wanted it to be. And then it was finally by the end of our program together, and we had a no DQ match on SmackDown. And halfway through the match, we're like, okay, we got there. We got it, buddy. This is where we wanted to get to. But it took like 3 months of working together to gel. It's interesting. He's not the least, but I don't know who the least is, honestly. I don't know. Because you figure it out with everybody.
Yeah, but I think that kind of like, that's a great story of like the least at like kind of going to like a good one, right?
Yeah, it was a building process for sure. And you would think, oh, that had to be easy, but initially it was just kind of not.
Hi there.
Hi, my name is Charlotte. I was just wondering how different it was working with Christian on Haven compared to being in the ring.
Is that chemistry just as good?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, Christian played my best friend on Haven, so it wasn't a really far reach. You know, and for me it was extremely easy because I'd been working on the show for 5 seasons at that point. I knew the entire crew. I didn't have any questions, but he had to come in, meet everyone. And our first scene together, we had a 4-hour block in this bar. We had the bar for 4 hours. It was a very long scene. It was like a 3-page scene. So they really threw him in the deep end, and he didn't know that there was a time constraint. So he just did his thing, and we were able to get in there and did it in 3 hours and 57 minutes. And after I told him, I was like, we had 4 hours for that, dude. And he was like, really? Oh man. And then he panicked. But yeah, it was pretty easy, honestly.
We have time for more, I think. Hey, little guy, what's your name?
My name's Lisa. What's the highlight of your career?
The highlights of your career. That's an easy one.
I mean, Mania against Taker has got to be in the conversation. Winning the tag belts with Hogan because it was so unexpected for me. Gosh, it's so tough. Just getting in there and being able to wrestle guys like Flair and Roddy Piper, and I mean, just dreams as a kid that I would have that never thought would happen, and they did. Yeah.
All right, last one. Hi there, what's your name? Okay, you're passing your question.
Very nice, very nice.
I'll sneak in here. Hi there.
Hi, my name's Rita. 2005, 2008, 2006 series was like the highlight of wrestling to me. What was it like to do the whole going from your character to the rated R situation?
That was your name, the Rated R Situation, right?
Yeah, and then I was on that show, Jersey Shore too.
Canadian Shore.
Yeah. It was a weird time, I really just, my goal at that point was to become the most loathed character in the wrestling industry. So I thought I wanted, my mindset was to have 100% of the audience hate me. And so that's what I tried to do is just have the character have no redeeming qualities whatsoever. The blurring line with wrestling sometimes is that people take that to the outside of the arena and can't separate sometimes. So that could get like, okay, all right. But it was also a fun time because it was, I felt like in terms of character that I was firing on all cylinders, and creating something, being a part of creating something, and then having, John Cena as the opponent as the polar opposite. We caught lightning in a bottle. So it was a great time. It was a whirlwind time though. We did so much and so many matches, and so it all blurs together. Like I remember slapping his dad, and then I remember getting food poisoning in his hometown the day that we filmed slapping his dad. And I said, John, someone in your hometown just poisoned you, I'm pretty sure. Because we did it in West Newbury. I slapped his dad, we go to eat after, and then I had to hop on the jet to fly to a house show to wrestle John. So in that time, I was like, something's happening. And I landed, I had to get my gear on the plane, run to the ring, and as I'm wrestling him, I'm like, yeah, I got food poisoning. This is interesting. So I'm trying to hold in puke. I'm trying to hold in all my different functions. And it was like a 25-minute match. So we finish it. I rolled under the ring and just hurled everywhere. And that was the only time I've ever had to do that. It was absolutely horrible, and I blame the pizza place in West Newbury.
Perfect.
That's a good way to end it, right?
Anything you want to add on the way out here?
You know, gosh, I'll get cheesy for a second. I'll get a little cheesy, but I've always tried to remember the fact that WWE is what put me on the map, and even 5 years past my retirement, is that I can still sit here and talk to this many people in London is crazy to me. The fact that, you know, it's segued into, you know, roles on Flash and all these different things in Haven, and it's all because of WWE and you guys coming and watching all those years, and then still supporting me as I go to do different stuff. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, guys. Edge is over there signing. All the wrestlers over there. I'm doing a live Art of Wrestling podcast tomorrow at 1:30. Right here. Come watch me hang out with some wrestlers and talk on stage. Have a good Comic-Con, guys. See ya.